told me that you had once a heart attack.
Yeah, I had a heart attack. Yeah.
So never. This was before or after you saved this person.
Oh, this is way after. Way after.
This way after.
Yeah, the heart attack was maybe 8 months ago.
It was 8 months ago.
Yeah, it was recent. Yeah, the heart attack
see.
was recent. Yeah, my personal one. Yeah.
How does it feel whenever you're having a heart attack?
It's fucking scary, man. It hurts. It's not a fun experience.
It's not a fun experience at all.
No. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs, yeah. Do not take drugs. So this happens because you took one specific drug, or?
So it was a couple of things. So I had I was detoxing from alcohol, and so what I did was I cut it cold turkey, which you don't want to do. When you were drinking to the extent that I was drinking, you don't ever want to cut it cold turkey. You need to level yourself off. You need to wean yourself off, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't do that, and then I ended up going to the gym, and I did a bunch of cardio because I was trying to lose weight, right? So I went to the gym, and I worked out for like 3 hours in the gym. It was a fucking long time in the gym. But
3 hours
I
every
had
single day?
Yeah,
Or that day? You were doing 3 hours every day, or only that day?
No, I was doing about an hour and a half to 2 hours every day, but this day I did 3 hours.
You did 3 hours.
Because I wasn't working at the time, so I mean, I just needed to kill some time. I didn't want to watch TV. You know, I mean, I had to find somewhere to spend your time.
Yeah.
And then my roommate came home, and she was like, "Yo, let's go for a bike ride." And I was like, "All right, let's go for a bike ride." And so we did a fucking 2-hour bike ride into town. And then she's like, "Let's go to the bar." And I was like, "Fuck it," So then I relapsed, and I went to the bar, and then we started drinking, and then we did a lot of drugs.
What kind of drugs do you take?
Cocaine specifically. And then we rode the bikes back to the house, and then we were doing cocaine at the house, and then we were up till 5 in the morning. I started burping like a whole lot. Like every 30, 45 seconds, I was just like, I was burping. I was like, this is fucking weird. This is new to me.
Yeah.
And then she had to work the next day, so she went to pass out, and I was sitting on there. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" So I tried to pass.
You were in the living room by yourself, or you were?
Yeah, I ended up being in the living room by myself, and then I ended up going to my room.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, just for 45 seconds at a time, my shit just like in the middle of your heart, it just contracted. And then I had to curdle into a fucking, the fetal position.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to the fetal position. And then you can't breathe or anything like that. You just, and then afterwards it lets go, and then you start breathing, and you start gasping for breath, and then all of a sudden you start doing it again. I did it maybe 10 to 12 times in about 10 minutes. So, I mean, they lasted for 30 seconds at a time, but the shit was scary. And then so I drove myself to the hospital.
You drove?
Yeah, I drove myself.
Hospital.
Yeah, I drove myself to the hospital.
How were you able to drive? Were you...
Not well.
So you just grabbed the keys? Of course you were. I'm guessing you were freaking out.
Oh, yeah. I was scared as hell, man. Yeah.
So you were looking for the keys, or do you remember how do you get into the car?
Well, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to call a couple of people, but then I realized everybody that I knew was at work, so I didn't want to bother nobody.
So you didn't want to, but you were that bad.
Yeah, well, look, man. I refuse to be a nuisance to anybody, if that makes sense, right?
Even in those scenarios when your life is in danger and you could potentially die?
I'm willing to die at any time. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I was only scared. So this is my main thing.
Yeah.
I refuse to die before my dad, and I refuse to die before my grandpa. Those are the only two beings that I can't die beforehand. My grandpa already lost his daughter. I can't let him lose his grandson. Right?
Yeah.
And my dad, he may not be my biological dad, but the man raised me.
Yeah.
And he got sober for me. I can't die before this man either, because that's going to ruin his shit.
Correct.
So I drove myself to the hospital. Once they're both gone, I don't give a shit after that. But
in the meantime...
while they're still around, I refuse to let myself go before them. Because they can't lose me, because they're good men. and they've already lost enough, and I don't want to be another thing that they lose, because I can't understand, but I can comprehend what that loss would be, or how it would feel, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't call 911. You didn't call no one. You were just like,
I can't afford no ambulance, dude. I'm fucking broke as shit. You know. By the way, if any females want to come, send me a little Cash App or whatever. My name is Wolfman Jack 808.
We're gonna put. Please check the description below. We're gonna put a link, so if you want, you're free to. But make sure you click on the description so you're able to see all the details, even your Instagram, so they can go there.
I had to do the plug.
That's freaking funny, man. So. Have you ever got something like that? Like someone randomly sends you some?
Oh, no, not at all. Never,
well, it could be your first time, so please go ahead and check the link in the description.
If you'll be my first donor, I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. We will never forget you.
You know, I might come visit you if you're cute enough. You know,
if you're cute enough.
Never mind, you have to be cute.
So
that's fine.
You drove yourself to the hospital.
I drove myself to the hospital.
What happened whenever you arrived? Did you, at any point, you were
they put
almost
me in a
crashing?
wheelchair. Yeah, they put me in a wheelchair and they drove me up. They not drove me up, but they they walked me up.
Carry you.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they did a bunch of tests and things like that, and then it ended up being fucking $8,000, dude. And I didn't have insurance, so I told him from the get go, I don't have insurance.
$8,000 for everything.
Yeah, it was like $8,000, well, 8 to 10.
I see. So whenever all this happens, you never get into the heart attack. They were able to. You never died or you never passed out.
No, I mean at that point the heart attack had already passed, so there wasn't much they could do. I mean,
but this
is why the hospital system is fucked, right? Like if I had the heart attack, but it was done, so there's nothing else they can do really. At that point, they can just give you advice, be like, all right, like stop doing drugs, like fucking take care of your body. They put some IVs in you, they give you some pills to take. But unless you're like the middle of it, it's bullshit to go to the hospital as far as I'm concerned. So like I'll never go again. Right? Like at that point I say fuck it.
You will never go again to the hospital, even if you're having another.
No, I mean I already had the heart attack outside the hospital. And then you get there and then like the heart attack's done. This is just what you need to do. Let me give you some IVs, let me give you some pills. Let me charge you fucking $10,000 for this shit. $10,000?
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of fucking money.
That is
dude.
a lot of money, yeah.
And I didn't have insurance. Insurance ain't paying for none of that shit. I gotta pay for that shit.
Wow.
I told them to suck my dick.
And they were like, no, you gotta pay us.
Yeah, they said I gotta pay that shit. I tried though. I tried my hardest.
Well, that's the thing. You try. You should.
So you wanna know why I'm broke? That's why I'm broke. Don't get a heart attack, folks.
So you think that? I mean, they told you, of course, but you think that the main thing was that because you were doing a lot of exercise before, you were going to like this bike thing, and then you had how many lanes of cocaine?
Oh, fucking lot, dude. A lot of cocaine.
You were doing a lot of cocaine back then.
I'm not gonna get into it. But yeah, I used to do a lot of cocaine.
Yeah.
A lot of it, like a lot.
That's like the most nearly death experience you ever had. Will you say that was the worst one, the worst nearly death experience, that heart attack?
No. The worst one was when I drove off a cliff.
You almost crashed, or?
No, I drove off an actual cliff.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, that one actually it ended up working out for me in my favor. But so there's actually